If you believe the most powerful connections begin when no one is trying to impress anyone, subscribe and stay. These are the stories where love doesn't recognize status, only character. The car dies with a soft shudder. Not dramatic. No smoke, no sparks. Just a sudden quiet as the engine gives up and the dashboard lights blink out one by one. She coasts to the side of the road, heart thudding, steering carefully until the tires kiss gravel. She exhales slowly. Of all places. The road is narrow here, winding through a stretch of countryside that feels intentionally forgotten. Trees lean in close, branches tangled overhead, blocking most of the afternoon sun. There's no signal, no passing traffic, just the sound of wind moving through leaves. She steps out of the car, heels sinking slightly into dirt, and lifts the hood. She already knows what she'll see. Nothing obvious. She laughs softly under her breath. Not amused, just resigned. This was supposed to be a simple drive. No driver. No security. No assistants hovering with contingency plans. Just her and the road. She wanted this. She just didn't expect the road to answer back. A truck approaches from behind, engine low and steady. She turns, instinctively cautious, but it slows, then pulls over several feet ahead of her car. A man steps out. He looks ordinary. Late 30s, maybe early 40s. Jeans, worn boots, sleeves rolled up. Broad shoulders, easy posture. Not rushed. Not imposing. He takes in the scene in a single glance. The open hood, the empty road, her careful stillness. "Car trouble?" he asks. His voice is calm. Friendly. Not curious in a way that feels invasive. "Yes," she admits. "It just stopped." He nods once. "Mind if I take a look?" She hesitates for half a second. Not because she doesn't trust him, because she isn't used to being helped without conditions. "I'd appreciate it," she says. He approaches the car, peering into the engine with practiced ease. He doesn't ask her what she does, where she's headed, why she's here. He just looks. "Battery's fine," he murmurs. "But your belt's loose." She blinks. "You can tell that already?" He smiles faintly. Years of listening to engines complain. She watches as he reaches into his truck, pulls out a small tool kit, and sets it on the ground like this is the most natural thing in the world. "Do you do this for a living?" she asks. "Used to," he says. "Now I just don't mind fixing things." That answer intrigues her more than it should. He works quietly, fingers sure, movements efficient. No unnecessary fleristis. No attempt to impress. She finds herself studying him. There's a steadiness to the way he moves. Like someone who knows exactly what he's capable of, and doesn't need validation for it. "How long were you planning to be stranded?" he asks. She smiles slightly. "As long as it took for panic to set in." He chuckles softly. "We'll beat that." He tightens something, then steps back. "Try it now." She slides into the driver's seat, turns the key. The engine hums back to life, smooth and steady. Her shoulders drop instantly. "Oh," she breathes. Thank you." He closes the hood carefully. "You should get it checked properly when you can. It'll hold for now." She steps out again, relief evident. "I don't even know how to thank you," she says. He shrugs. "You're back on the road. That's enough." She reaches for her purse instinctively. "Please," she says. "At least let me." "No," he interrupts gently. "I didn't stop for money." She pauses, surprised. "Then why did you stop?" she asks. He meets her gaze, expression open. "Because you needed help," he says simply. Something in her chest tightens. She nods slowly, absorbing that. "Still," she says, "I owe you." He considers that, then nods. "All right." She waits. "Next time you see someone stuck," he says, "you stop." She smiles. A real one this time. "I can do that." They stand there for a moment, the road quiet again. The world reduced to this small, unexpected pause. "I'm Daniel," he says finally. She gives her name in return, just her name. "No taiters." No context. "Nice to meet you," he says. "You too." She hesitates, then asks, "Where are you headed?" "Back that way," he replies, nodding toward the road behind him. "Home." She nods. "I'm still figuring out where I'm going." He smiles softly at that, like he understands more than she said. "Well," he says, stepping back toward his truck. Drive safe. You too. She watches him pull away, the truck disappearing around the bend. Only then does she realize something strange. She feels lighter. She gets back into her car, heart still beating a little faster than necessary, and drives on. She doesn't notice the way she glances into the rearview mirror once. Or twice. At a small cafe miles down the road, she parks and sits for a moment before getting out. She stares at her reflection in the mirror. This was the point. The anonymity. The unpredictability. The chance to meet someone who didn't know who she was. Someone who helped her without expecting anything in return. Her phone buzzes. A message from her assistant, panicked. Where are you? We lost your location. She exhales. I'm fine, she types back. Just driving. Your meeting. Reschedule it, she replies. I need it today. She slips the phone back into her bag. Inside the cafe, she orders coffee and takes a seat by the window. And that's when she sees him again. Daniel. He's at the counter, ordering the same thing she did. Still relaxed. Still unhurried. Fate or something like it has a sense of timing. He notices her reflection in the glass and turns. A flicker of surprise crosses his face. Well, he says, smiling. Looks like your luck held. She laughs softly. Seems like it. Mind if I sit? He asks, gesturing to her table. I'd like that. They sit across from each other, the conversation picking up with ease. He asks about her drive. She asks about his work now. He answers vaguely. She doesn't push. She doesn't tell him she owns companies he's driven past. She doesn't tell him she's been looking for something real for longer than she'll admit. She just listens. And as he talks about fixing things, about choosing a quieter life, about the satisfaction of solving problems with his hands, she realizes something unsettling. This wasn't supposed to happen. She wasn't supposed to meet someone like him on a roadside. And he has no idea that the woman smiling across from him is a billionaire who stopped believing in love long before today. They don't rush the coffee. That becomes the first quiet rule between them. Unspoken, mutual. The cafe hums softly around them, the low murmur of conversations blending with the hiss of the espresso machine. Sunlight filters through the window, catching dust in the air, making the moment feel suspended. So, he says, wrapping his hands around his mug, did the road give you any more trouble? No, she replies. It behaved after that. Good, he says. Cars respond well to attention. She smiles at that, studying him over the rim of her cup. And people, she asks lightly. He chuckles. Less predictable. They talk easily. About small things at first, favorite routes, the strange piece of back roads, the satisfaction of fixing something that doesn't argue back. He tells her he downsized his life a few years ago. Less noise. Fewer expectations. I realized I didn't want to chase things anymore, he says. I wanted to choose them. The words settle into her chest like something she didn't know she'd been waiting to hear. That sounds intentional, she says. It is, he replies. Took me a while to get there. She nods, thinking of boardrooms, negotiations, the constant forward momentum that never asked whether she wanted to stop. They finish their coffee slowly. Outside, the day waits. I should probably go, she says reluctantly. I've delayed enough responsibilities. He stands as well. I won't keep you. They walk out together, stopping beside her car. Thank you again, she says. For earlier. And for this. He shrugs. Happy accidents happen. She hesitates, then asks, would you want to have dinner sometime? The question surprises both of them. Her especially. He studies her for a moment, not assessing, not cautious. Just present. I would, he says. They exchange numbers. No teatrix. No assumptions. As she drives away this time, her phone buzzes again. Another message from her assistant. Then another from her security lead. We found you. Are you safe? We're nearby. She exhales. I'm fine, she types. Headed back now. The rest of the drive is different. Quieter. Fuller. Dinner happens 3 nights later. She chooses the place carefully. Nothing extravagant. Nothing that announces status. When she arrives, he's already there, seated at a small table, sleeves rolled up again, posture easy. You look different, he says as she sits. She smiles. So do you. They laugh, tension dissolving. Conversation deepens. He talks about rebuilding engines, about the satisfaction of restoring something worn but worth saving. She talks about travel, about learning to enjoy places without agendas. At one point, he tilts his head slightly. You're very private. She doesn't deny it. I had to be, she says. For a long time. He nods. You don't anymore. It's not a question. The check comes. She reaches for it instinctively. He gently covers her hand. Let me. She pauses, then lets him. Outside, the air is cool. They walk without hurry, steps matching easily. There's something I should tell you, she says, stopping beneath a street lamp. He turns to face her, attentive. I haven't been completely honest, she admits. His expression doesn't change. About who I am, she says. What I do. She takes a breath. I own quite a bit. Companies. Investments. More than I ever wanted to manage alone. He absorbs that quietly. You're wealthy, he says. Yes, she replies. More than that. He studies her face, looking for something. Expectation, apology, defensiveness. He finds none. Does it change anything? He asks. She shakes her head. I hope not. He considers, then smiles faintly. It explains a few things. She laughs softly, relieved. I didn't stop because of that, he adds. On the road. Or at the cafe. Or now. I know, she says. That's why I needed to tell you. They stand there, the truth between them. Not heavy, not dramatic. Just real. Over the weeks that follow, they move carefully, intentionally. She learns how grounding it is to be with someone who doesn't meet her world. He learns that her ambition isn't armor, it's history. They don't rush intimacy. They build it. One evening, standing beside her car again, this time running perfectly, she looks at him and smiles. You know, she says, I spent a long time searching for love in places that required credentials. And now, he asks. And now, she says, I think it found me on a roadside. He reaches for her hand, slow and certain. Good thing I stopped, he says. She squeezes his fingers gently. Yes, she agrees. It was. And as they drive off together, no disguises, no expectations. She knows this story didn't begin with wealth or status. It began with a broken engine, and a man who fixed it without asking for anything in return.